Hi guys, welcome to Little Rock Central High School National Historic Sites second peeling back the layers of the Little Rock 9. Today we're going to be honoring the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who was assassinated 52 years ago today at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis, Tennessee, which is about 2 hours north of here. And of course the Lorraine Motel now is the site of a wonderful civil rights museum. So we're going to talk about Dr. King and when he came to Little Rock, his special, unique role in the story of the Little Rock 9, a story not very many people know about. It's a pretty cool, pretty special story. So I'll give you guys a second to get in and get checked in, and then we'll go ahead and get started. I hope those of you at home are feeling well and doing okay during this time of social distancing. It's very rainy and gloomy here again in Little Rock. I'm convinced that it's not Arkansas if it's not raining. So we're up to 7 views already. I appreciate you guys for indulging me and helping to make these lives a success. I hope you guys are enjoying them and getting a lot out of them. So to go ahead and get started, I did choose the spot in our exhibit area because you can see a photo, hopefully you can see it. It was Dr. King when the Voting Rights Act was signed, the Civil Rights Act was signed in 1964. So it's a pretty special spot. We've got Dr. King looking over us today as we tell his story. So for this particular story, when I talk about when Dr. King came to Little Rock, I usually segue into it with something that had actually happened in December of 1957 into February 1958. So, little backstory, at this point, by December, all of the 101st Airborne Division have been completely removed from Little Rock. They are replaced with the National Guard, the same guardsmen who have been here since the get-go, essentially, to protect and keep an eye on the students. Of course, the National Guardsmen are instructed not to get involved. They even tell Dr. Roberts, after he had been assaulted one day in the hallway, you know, it's not our job to protect you or anything like that. It's just our job to keep you alive. So as long as Dr. Roberts wasn't about to basically be killed by his fellow classmates in the hallway while he was being savagely beaten, the guardsmen weren't really getting involved. Now, another thing to know as well in terms of this is that there were certain areas of the school that the guardsmen, the soldiers, were not allowed to go. And on the first day of school, when they were all in school on that September 24th day, the commanding officer of the 101st actually told the assembled white student body where these places were that there weren't going to be soldiers. So those were the classrooms, the cafeteria, the gym room, the gym class, locker room, places like that. All of this, and the cafeteria, I don't know if I said that. All of that leading into, in December 1957, these children are experiencing constant daily harassment. It would wear on anybody. And remember, they can't retaliate. They can't do anything. Finally, in December 1957, one of the students is going to strike back, which will be Minnie Jean Brown. It's cafeteria. She's in the cafeteria. It's chili day. She loves chili day. She's got 2 bowls of chili on her tray. She's trying to get over to her friends from the other side of the cafeteria, and she can't quite get to them because there's some boys blocking her path. She tries to go around them. She can't get around them. And finally, she said what happens next is that she accidentally, on purpose, took that tray and dropped that bowls of chili over the heads of those boys. Minnie Jean Brown is going to be suspended for that action of defending herself, basically pouring the chili on those boys. When she comes back from her 10-day suspension following Christmas break, she's told, if you mess up again, you're out. Not only expelled from Central High, you will be expelled from the Little Rock School District. All the students really start focusing their attempts on Minnie Jean Brown, their attacks rather, and ultimately Minnie Jean will be expelled in February of 1958 for calling some students white trash after they had come up behind her in the hallway and hit her with their handbags that had the padlocks from their lockers in them. When Minnie Jean is expelled, she has to leave Little Rock. She actually goes to New York City and goes to live with Dr. Kenneth and Mamie Clark, the psychologists from the baby doll test that were used in the Brown versus Board of Education decision. Once Minnie Jean is gone, the students of Little Rock Central High, the white students, they are elated. They start passing around cards saying 1 down, 8 to go. They're going to start trying to think, okay, well, we made one student crack. Let's try to see who else can we hurt, who else can we try to get out of this school. They're going to start focusing their efforts really on Ernest Green, the senior of the group. Even the teachers start to get involved. As we start getting closer to graduation, Ernest's grades start to slip. Now, if you guys remember, I told you all in the other video, if you watched it, you had to have perfect grades to attend Central. Ernest Green didn't just suddenly overnight become a bad student. The teachers are intentionally failing him, giving him bad grades. And his mother, Mrs. Green, who is a school teacher as well, she takes Ernest's work and has all of her friends, her coworkers, check his work to prove, hey, my son knows what he's doing. He's not a bad student. When she gets that evidence, she goes to the school board and says, you're intentionally failing my son. Fix this. Ernest's grades get fixed. Then the school board tries to tell Ernest, hey, instead of walking in graduation in May, why don't you stay home and we'll mail you your diploma. Now you're Ernest Green. Imagine for a second. You've probably just been through the worst year of your life. Not probably, you have. You've been subjected to severe indignities, harassment, bullying, all for the sake of getting your education. Are you going to stay home? Or are you going to walk across that stage in May of 1958 and get your diploma and show to the people of Little Rock and to the world, I did it. I can do it. I'm just as good as the rest of these students. Ernest basically tells the school board, thanks, but no thanks. I'm going to walk with my classmates. The Little Rock School District is going to try to do one more thing to hurt Ernest on the most important day of his life, and that's going to backfire, in my opinion. Ernest will get the last laugh. Typically, students graduating from Central were given 10 tickets to graduation for family, friends, and so forth. Ernest is only given 4. So what does he do with these 4 tickets? Because he's got to be very careful who he gives them to now. He's got to pick. So, of course, he gives his ticket to his mother. He gives a ticket to his grandparents. And the 4th ticket is given to Mrs. Daisy Bates. But when graduation comes around, Mrs. Daisy Bates is going to give her ticket to somebody else, Dr. Martin Luther King. He was here in Little Rock in May of 1958. He was going to be speaking to the black community because of Daisy Bates' connection with the NAACP and so forth. She knew Dr. King. She says, I want you to have this ticket. And so Dr. King is here in May of 1958 when Ernest Green walks across that stage and gets his diploma. Here's some pictures of Ernest I have on graduation. But then here is a picture of Ernest, Dr. King, and Daisy Bates. And this is a pretty cool photo. It's pretty special. Now on Ernest's graduation day, there was FBI all over the place. I had a visitor a couple weeks ago ask me if at this point the FBI had started their surveillance on Dr. King. They had, so they're probably thinking, we can kill 2 birds with 1 stone, make sure that nobody gets into trouble at this graduation, but we can also keep an eye on Dr. King, since they were already keeping a surveillance on him. Their National Guardsmen are also there hiding under the bleachers, making sure nothing happens. Now, you all have probably been to a graduation a time or two in your life, and when your graduates walks across the stage, everyone erupts into cheers and applause, everyone's happy. That basically happens for everyone except Ernest Green. It is dead silent in that stadium. You couldn't hear a pin drop. There's only 4 people in the whole stadium applauding for this boy who has just done an incredible achievement, accomplished something very incredible. He has graduated from Central High after the worst year that anyone could possibly go through. So, it's a small little story of Dr. King being here, but I think it's a pretty awesome one. This is 1958. The Montgomery bus boycotts have already happened. People know who he is, but they don't know who he is. He's not March on Washington Dr. King yet. So he's still riding that tide up to becoming the icon and hero that we all know him to be today. And I'm being told to hold the photo higher, so hopefully you guys can see that. Thanks, Mom. Anyway, so again, there's Ernest, there's Dr. King and Daisy, and then there's also his graduation photos when Ernest got his diploma, with some of his classmates completely ostracized, and then, of course, his graduation photo. So it's a little bit shorter than our other one. Does anybody have any questions or anything? So if nobody has any questions, I'll go ahead and tune out. Thank you guys for watching. I think this might be the highest live count we've ever had, so that's awesome. I'm really excited about that. Maybe I need to start doing these earlier in the day. You guys tell me, please, if times that I have scheduled don't work for you, for your schedule, or what's going on in your life. I am more than happy to adjust. Now that we are close to the public, but still coming into work to talk and do these videos and such, I can adjust the times very easily. So it doesn't have to be in the afternoon if that doesn't work for anybody. At 11 a.m., which would be 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time in about 48 minutes from now, we're going to continue honoring Dr. King's legacy today by reading a children's illustrated copy of his I Have a Dream speech from that March on Washington, illustrations by Kadir Nelson. It's very beautiful. And on Tuesday, we'll continue with this theme of honoring Dr. King's life by reading My Daddy, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. by Martin Luther King Jr. III. No, as far as I know, Dr. King, he spoke to the Black community. He was scheduled, so somebody in the comments asked, did Dr. King speak? Dr. King was scheduled to speak to the members, to the Black community of Little Rock. He was going to speak at a church. I'd have to double check the name of the church right now, but he didn't speak at Ernest's graduation or anything like that. Thank you for your question. Okay, so if you guys have questions when you watch this later, please do not hesitate to comment in the photos. I get notifications from the page on my phone, so I see stuff pretty quickly. I'm trying to be really proactive and responding as soon as possible. So again, please don't hesitate to post any questions. Remember, we do also have those coloring sheets I posted on the page a few days ago. I can repost them of Dr. King quotes. If you or your children color some and you want to post copies of them on our page, we'll highlight them and we will get in touch with you to send you a Junior Ranger badge from Little Rock Central High School National Historic Site. So thank you guys. Have a great day, and I hopefully will see you in about 45 minutes. Bye.